been said that there are two sides to every story. Well, I beg to differ, for there are higher levels in this state of existence. For there is an absolute truth. For there is an almighty God. And yes, we are made in His image. So therefore, activate G-Vision.
So, like you said, there's a lot of talk going on around, a lot of debate about, black people. Why don't y'all just let it go, That was hundreds of years ago, White people saying, we didn't have anything to do with that. That was our ancestors, It's over. Get over it. Even black people saying, get over it. We can't dwell in the past. We can't live in the past. Okay. It may be some truth to that. However, I would share a personal experience before I tie that in with a collective experience for our people. Now, when I was, put it this way, I lived in Hopewell, Virginia for the first part of my life. From the entry of school until the 3rd grade, I was put in gifted classes. I was considered gifted. They had me tested. I tested good. And I was in the gifted classes. Well, when I went to Prince George County, which is Hopewell and Prince George, just like brother and sister, they like right beside each other. So when I went over there, they said, okay, well, we know that Hopewell said that you was gifted, but now you in a school system, a different school system, so we're gonna need you to come and get tested again. So I went and got tested again. And never saw the results of the test or whatnot, but we just got a letter stating that I didn't pass the test in a way that they wanted me to. And I know that sounds crazy to me. What you mean the way they want? Well, they said that in some areas I did good and in other areas I didn't. But they never gave me any test scores or let me know, what I missed or anything like that. But anyway, so I was taken out of gifted classes as a whole, and I was given 2 out of 7 classes. I was given 2 classes. Well, I think in middle school started off at 6, then when you get to high school to 7. Well, I was given these 2 classes for my tenure at Prince George, which I believe was math and English. Both of those, they said that I was still gifted in. But most of these gifted children, they roll in packs, so they just go from class to class. Like they just stay whatever. When they switch from social studies to math, whatever, they just go from class to class. The other children kind of intermingle in amongst each other. So I went to the county and I was thrown into this intermingling group of kids, but however, I was still held with the quote-unquote elect group of kids. And how that relates to white supremacy is that, number one, I was never given the scores for my test. Number two, how am I gifted in one city and in the next county I'm not? Number three, there was a nice portion, if you will, of these white children in these classes that I might say at the time, they were my friends. Even now, I guess I could consider them my friends. Most of them I really don't have any dealings with now. I don't harbor any bad feelings towards them, but it's just that life has put us in different places. But I have nothing but love, admiration, and respect for all of my white friends. It was apparent to me that they enjoyed getting answers from me. And so much so that they enjoyed cheating off my paper and encouraging me to give them cheat answers. during test after test, quiz after quiz. I was always very good at retaining information and regurgitating it back out. So testing quizzes never really stood a chance with me because usually I just blow right past that stuff. So, okay. So once again, to cap this question off, based off my personal experience, now let's tie that into collectively. Now collectively, from coast to coast, from New York to LA, from Seattle to Miami, all black boys and black girls are going through the same thing that I am. But even if it's not those same circumstances, but they're going through that thing as far as they're meant to be up to that higher standard. Some higher standard that no person could ever even measure to this standard, but we are meant to live up to that. For example, there's a video clip on YouTube of a white male walking down the street with AR-17 rifle in his hand, and it's a social experiment done by a group of culturally mixed people. And in the social experience, the white male comes with the AR-15 first. He's walking down the streets. I believe this is in it's either Ontario or Toronto, Canada. He's walking down the street with this gun, and I mean, it's broad day, it's in the middle of the city. The police officers walk up to this guy. They basically start asking him questions. The guy says he's not about to put his gun down. He's well within his rights, and he's basically allowed to carry on a conversation with these police officers. I think the guy calls for backup. Maybe like one more police officer shows up, and basically that's the end of the story. The guy never gets wrestled to the ground. He never gets ruffled up. He never gets cursed out. He never gets a gun drawn on him. That same day, they do the next social experiment with a light-skinned black male, young guy. He's walking down the street with his AR-15. It's day and night compared to how these officers respond. The officers run up on this guy. Well, not even run up on him. They see him. They park. They stop their cars in the middle of the street, about 20 feet away from him. The officer opens his door, comes out the side of the door like this, with his door, using his door as a shield, has his weapon drawn on the man, and continuously gives verbal commands for the guy to get the F on the ground, lay on the ground, put the gun down, slide the gun away from you. No, sir, what are you doing with this gun? No, do you have a license for that? Nothing was nice. Everything was a command, like, either you do this, black man, or I have grounds to shoot you. That black man knew that. That's why he got his butt on the ground. And the person behind, like I said, this is a social experiment. The person behind him that's doing that, is videotaping this, just happens to be a 6-month-old pregnant young girl. And she's in the background stating, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant. But yet the cop is consistently yelling and telling both of them to lay on the ground. And she's telling the guy, I'm pregnant. The cop is saying, lay on the ground. So there's many instances that I could give to show you how that same racism still exists today, and why we need to be learning about it, and we need to be doing something about it collectively. That's just one.
Very, very insightful. Well, I'm just the devil's advocate here, and we have movies, we have shows, we have reality, we have our everyday that show that majority of the times when you roll through the neighborhood of a black community, it's a heightened sense of fear for the person, whomever they may be. Even black people, when they roll through the black community, there's a heightened sense of lock your doors, roll your windows up, don't look left, don't look right, keep your eyes on the road, speed through the neighborhood, go where you going and leave, because it's it's craziness, it's madness going on in that neighborhood. And now we're out of that neighborhood, or we're still in that neighborhood, and I see a black guy walking down the street with a weapon in his hand. He has got to be about to do something terrible. He can't just be going to take it back to the rightful owner, or just walking out, because the law states you can walk outside with your weapon if you legally own it and you have the license for it. The law clearly says that. But when a black man has it, he's got to be about to do something terrible with it, especially according to the social experiment that you've seen. So my question is, we have stereotypes, and if you don't believe the stereotype, you'll be caught off guard. So why not approach the situation differently if a black man is walking down the street with a weapon versus a white man walking down the street with a weapon? If you're a police officer, or if you're just a citizen, you just happen to come outside and you see a black man standing with a weapon, are you just gonna think, oh, he cool, he just going to the corner store?
Well, interesting question. And the answer is definitely twofold. And we'll start off with this. First, as Michael Jackson said, we have to look at the man in the mirror. And we as black people are, at this point, the sole contributor to our own downfall. Because we don't have chains on our necks. We don't have shackles on our feet. We're not getting whipped because we don't want to do work. So, laying aside the conditions that put us there and looking at our situation now, it's no reason that let's use Richmond for example, if I'm from Gilpin Court, that I shouldn't be able to go to Mosby Court and have camaraderie there between my brothers and my sisters, because we should fully understand the systematic approach to annihilate us from off the face of this planet by now. But we don't understand that. So we got artists like 2 Chainz, Lil Wayne, Dej Loaf, Nicki Minaj, Meek Mills, Ricky Rose, okay, DJ Khaled, okay. We got artists like this. Future, that's a good one right there, because he holds a special place. His name, Future, but he sounds like the past. He sounds worse than the past, but his name is Future. Now see, subliminally and directly, these people are telling you exactly what they want you to know. And when I say these people, I'm not talking about Future and 2 Chainz. They're not telling what you want you to know. The thing is, what we have to see is who are their bosses, who are employing them. But I'll get back to the bosses. Let's stick on our people. Regardless of who their bosses are, Future, 2 Chainz, these guys like this. And I don't want to tear down my brothers, but what has to be spoken on needs to be spoken on. I'm not coming against these brothers personally, but I'm coming against the spirit that they're conveying.